What's good, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. Wish you guys a happy Tuesday as it is January 11th. And, oh man, this band, this is something that you guys are never, ever going to want to miss and never, ever going to want to forget, especially towards the end of the podcast. The conversation gets insanely real. But before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors first, Phoenix Fitness. Yes, you guys are all on, the New Year's resolution kick? Yeah, we're still in the second week of January, so still on that full-on New Year's resolution kick. Want to get healthy and shape, go to the gym, yeah. But after you're done lifting, after you're done doing all the workout cardio stuff, you're going to want to find, something to help you recover, right, so you can get back at it the next day and you don't break that resolution. That's where Phoenix Fitness comes in because they have many different supplements to help you achieve all your fitness goals. Pre-workouts before you get going on your workout. Stim and stim free. I use the stim free stuff because I've got enough energy as it is. They also have different pieces of the recovery compounds for your after workout, creatine, protein for your morning, night, and immediately after your workout, multivitamins, anything you might need to your fitness goals. Phoenix Fitness has for you. Our listeners get 15%. Just go to MSOTD at fnxfit.com. Link description below. Our second sponsor is Custom Debuts. So you guys know I love music. That's why I do a podcast. That's why I talk about it all the time. That's why it is basically my life at this point. And I have so many different music things up around here. Skateboards, flags, posters. I mean, that's what I like. So when Custom Debuts can make me a custom poster of just like anything I want in music, hell yeah, I like that kind of stuff. So what they do is they let you tell them an artist that you like. Say it's Ice Nine Kills. You can either give them an album, say it's Welcome to Horrorwood, give them a song, say it's Worst Vacation, and you give it to them and they will give you a custom poster built around the album, like the artwork and the track listing or the song with the with lyrics on the poster, and they will customize the poster to your liking. They'll send you a proof of what you might want in 48 hours. You have unlimited edits, unlimited kind of things. You can kind of go back and be like, hey, I maybe want something like this. And when you're satisfied, you can make it and bing, bang, boom, they will send it out to you. You can have it printed on normal poster paper, like any kind of poster you get, a canvas print, or an aluminum sign print. Now, that aluminum sign, you want to be the most badass guy in your office, gym, have, the coolest music room ever. You're going to probably want something like that. So make sure you do that. Our listeners get 10% off. Use the code CPP10 at checkout for Custom Debuts. Link description below. Thank you, Custom Debuts. Now to our feature presentation. You guys know who Nonpoint is, right? Absolutely. Their cover of When Doves Cry was going absolutely crazy in terms of popularity at the end of 2021. Their Ruthless EP released on December 27, 2021. They have a headline run right now where Elias, their lead singer, says this is the heaviest set list they've put together. And they've got more new music coming out, and we talk all about it on this podcast. But make sure that you get to the 40, 45 minute mark, because the band started their own label called 361 Degrees, and it's their own independent record label. That's when things get insanely real. Elias talks about the difference between being independent and why people are going independent versus that artist label relationship. Sorry, my bad. And where the disconnect comes in. It's captivating. I was not going to talk during that because I just wanted to listen. There is so much there to really sink your teeth into. It is absolutely incredible, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. So please welcome Elias from the band Nonpoint to the podcast. Are you ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, if you have liked anything in metal for the past 20, 25 years, this band is surely one that has come across your radar, and I'm pretty sure you have not missed them. And if you have, well, now you get to check them out because they've got a brand new EP coming out the end of 2021 called Ruthless. They're going to be touring at the beginning of 2022. They're going to be playing Shiprocked as well. And their recent cover of Prince's When Doves Cry has been hailed as honestly one of the greatest covers from the past 5 to 6 years. So please welcome Elias from the band Nonpoint. So Elias, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for being on, man. How's everything going in, your world around this time of the year, way in life?
It's good. It's crazy, family, home, running around doing Christmas shopping and getting geared up for the holidays. Really, that's the focus around these times. So trying to juggle the release coming, and family is the goal.
Literally throwing it all in together. It's okay. We got Christmas, then we've got the release of the EP, then you guys are going back out on tour for the new year, then Shiprocked happens, and then you still have the rest of 2022 to go. I mean, you guys are starting out the year pretty much, in the best way to put it, just guns blazing.
Yeah, we have a busy year coming. We're about to get back into the studios right after we come out of the tour to start up the next EP and get working on the full length. So we got a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do, but hey, especially after what we saw, in 2020 with the pandemic, and then 2021, you guys getting able to go back out on tour, the release of the Ruthless EP, kind of took a little bit of time. We had that break, but it's just, we understood when it came to live music, when it came to recording, when it came to just making music, how much it means to you guys, how much it means to everybody that listens to it, and to never take anything like that for granted ever again.
Yeah, really, it put everything into perspective on how quickly everything can change, and it definitely tested our infrastructure and our process, and allowed us to find a new channel to our fans and a new way to engage with them. So, some positives, some negatives, but mostly for us positive.
And that's the way it kind of had to be looked at, because it was a time that no one really knew what was going on. We had no idea when live music was going to come back. We had no idea when we were going to be able to go out and see you guys perform live. So to connect with the fans, you guys had to go out like in any way you possibly could. So really focusing on everything online was going to be the major key component of that, until live music came back and you guys could go back out on the road, start touring, people could see you play live, and then all of a sudden, have those crowds where everyone's just going to get absolutely crazy, like they did when you guys were touring with the Treyu around like August, September.
Yeah. But even then, there were some bumps in the road for that one. So, we're still, I guess, building the plan for the new process and the new way of delivering music and promoting music, because new variants are coming, and things are starting to lock down again. So we're expecting to shift gears here again shortly, because it looks like people will be home listening to it again.
Well, I certainly hope that's not the case, because for me, I love going to live shows. I love going to concerts. I've probably spent $600-700 already for concerts coming up in the first couple of months of 2022. And yeah, I don't really want to miss out on any live shows again, because, well, it was a rough, year and a half without jumping to a mosh pit going absolutely crazy. But what I do like what you said is, you do understand the way that the world is working right now. You do understand your surroundings. You are aware of the situation. So you guys are essentially on your toes right now when it comes to, all right, if we're going to be able to play live, if, nothing's going to get shut down, if we're going to continue to be able to go on, we are ready to do that. But if it goes the other direction, we start having to, shut down once again in certain areas, live shows end up being postponed once again. How do we attack that? You're already putting that idea in place, you have that mindset ready to go, so that you're able to continue reaching out to your fans, continue to be able to connect the fans, and continue to grow Nonpoint no matter what happens.
Yeah, we're easygoing. So we're able to, shift plans and kind of, brainstorm on new ways to deliver our entertainment to our fans, because that's really what everyone was missing. It's not easy to put on a very entertaining online show, after having so many concert experiences. So I'm sure I speak for the entire music industry when I say that we're all doing our best to keep the show going. But for the safety of our fans, for based on whatever states and federal powers that be are directing our gatherings, we're gonna just make sure that our fans know that we're gonna keep entertaining them.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even throughout 2021, you guys continue to show that as well. And I remember I was supposed to potentially see you guys twice in 2021. Once was you guys were playing up in Green Bay at the Epic Event Center with Atreyu. However, I'm like, I was about to buy a ticket for it, but then all of a sudden I end up getting a ticket. I believe it was to probably go and see Rise Against it. And I'm like, well, I can't really pass up going to see Rise Against. That's my favorite band. And then I was out in Virginia for Blue Ridge Rock Fest, and my one buddy who he basically turned me on to Nonpoint back in like, I think this might have been like 2012 when I first met him. He's like, you got to listen to this band. I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden we were all set and ready to see you guys. And then the unfortunate accident with the trailer happened. And it was just like, oh man, of course, we all understood the whole entire thing. And I did enjoy the fact that you guys put that whole entire 12-minute video out on YouTube, kind of showing everyone what happened, describing the situation to really see, stuff like this does happen. And when it comes to you guys specifically, how you guys reacted to that situation to make sure that, the show does go on, but you guys are, basically it's still a band. You guys are still people, and showing the human side, I believe, really helped a lot of people connect with the band even more so than they already had.
Yeah. We're definitely the kind of band that likes to allow people a peek behind the curtain and to get to know us personally. There's a lot to our story and a lot to the people that are actually in the band. It's just not a bunch of songs. It's actually human beings behind it. So when we can give people a little taste of that and a way to connect with that, our creative director Frankie, she captures some pretty amazing moments. So to be able to show those moments to our fans, because 90% of the time they can't be there, it definitely has some value.
And especially see a moment like that where, I mean, a lot of us have not gone through anything like that, but just to see, again, the whole human side of what you guys had gone through at that point, how the connectivity of just, make sure and everything was, okay. Thankfully, no one was hurt in any situation with that, which is, again, the greatest thing that happened through that was no one was hurt. But then also seeing the outpouring of support from the rock and metal community, from other bands, from the fans as well when that happened, because I saw nothing but support for you guys from any side from when that happened.
It's pretty incredible. It's another thing that we don't take for granted. Our fans are they're our lifeline in our support system. On top of why we do this, it's pretty amazing to watch that kind of reaction, especially that quickly. They want us to keep going, and they definitely help us, do that.
Well, I think another reason why we wanted you to get back going so quickly was due to the fact that a lot of people connect with your music in such a positive way that we see what your music has done for us. And now here's a chance for us to potentially help you guys out in this sort of a situation to, show support any way we can. So we're going to jump on that and do that any way we can to make sure that you guys continue living out your dream and we continue to get to enjoy the music that you produce.
Well, thank you. It's definitely an amazing trade-off. We've our fans and this band have had quite the history and quite a relationship our entire 20-year tenure. So, I look forward to sunsetting with these people for the rest of my life. It's going to be a great golden years without a doubt.
And hopefully that sunset is like that full on sunset is a long ways away, because
way long ways. We don't we're definitely not running out of songs to write, and that's all it takes is a good song.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you guys have a brand new EP coming out on December 27th. You said you're working on another EP and working on another full-length album as well. So you're always working on new music, continually to provide us with things. And when it comes to releasing great music, I do want to jump into this specifically, and that is the cover of When Doves Cry, based on its reception both from, music critics, from fans. And then when I listened to it, I mean, I was sitting there thinking, when it comes to covers, there's always like three certain things I like to pick out, and you guys hit on all three of those things. So I'm like, this was awesome. So first question I want to ask around that is, what was the decision for covering When Doves Cry, especially because it's a Prince song? That is no easy feat to do.
Our fans chose it. We held a campaign online where we put up a bracket of a bunch of songs and just had them fight it out all the way till the end, where it was down to two. It was Metallica and Prince, and Prince prevailed.
Was there a certain song in that bracket that you were just hoping for? It's like, can we get to do this one? Was there just one on there that you kind of had in your head, like, I want to do this one, I want to do this one, and then this is
Yeah,
what the end result was?
there were actually two. Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks was one I was hoping to see make it to the end, and the Fugees, Ready or Not, I thought would have been a really cool track to cover. So I know really far away those two, but they were both my favorites to win.
But that's kind of the beauty of being able to do a cover song as well, because you can bring something from a completely different realm, even multiple different realms, and work within your own style to cover that song, and it's going to bring out some completely different emotion or a completely different way to express the emotion that the song is trying to express, the meaning that it's trying to express, and just deliver it kind of in a way where, okay, it's not going around about the same way that the original is, but it's going about it in a different way, but the end point you're getting to is the exact same.
Yeah, we definitely like to respect the song. You know, songwriters spend a long time writing their music, so I don't want to disrespect that in any way. But I also don't just want to redo. So we challenge the song in a sense of trying to pay homage in a sense, but then we try to put a completely different twist. So even the person that wrote it originally is like, okay, this is something different. So it's not them just trying to do the exact same thing that I did, but just with a guitar.
Yeah, because I've seen and heard those cover songs where it's just, okay, they're going to take the exact same thing and change one thing of it, put their voice over it, and that really doesn't connect at all. But when you're able to transform the song, pay homage to the original, keep the original's feel there, but change it up so that it feels like you guys wrote it, and then deliver on that same emotion, deliver on the same message of the song. Again, if we're going to feel that, then we're going to have a chance to have one hell of a cover and really enjoy it. Similar to, like, I always use an example, Disturbing the Sound of Silence. That's always kind of like the standard I use in terms of what a great cover sounds like, because if you listen to the two, when it comes to the overall, like, emotional theme, they're going to be the same. When it comes to how you achieve that through the different style of music, it's completely different, but the powerful emotion of those songs still hit the same. And when it came to the When Doves Cry single, especially from the way you guys opened up in the first verse and that first chorus, I mean, it was pretty much set in stone right there in my mind that you guys were going to absolutely nail this one.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, Dr. Fink liked it, so that's good. The keyboard player, the only original standing member of the Revolution right now, said he dug the track, so that's good.
I mean, that's as close as like the full on seal approval that you can get, because if there's the only remaining member of the Revolution was like, hell yeah, I like this, then
yeah. He was there when it happened, so I'm cool with that.
So when it came to really writing this and putting your own style on it while also paying homage to the original, what was the writing process like to really create the way that it came out? And I got to put first off specifically that first intro and chorus before the rest of the band really comes in full.
To be honest with you, it took a few versions. We played with Coming in Hard right away, and played with full band, soft. It was like 5-6 versions, maybe even 7 versions of this song. Just because we just weren't happy, and I think after everyone kind of beat their heads against the wall, I grabbed the track and just basically put a slow tempo up and sang the vocal line, and just put the idea together. And the guys were like, yeah, this is definitely the direction we should go. And, that's when everybody really started to hit the gas.
When it comes to just kind of especially using more of that more melodic, having a little bit more of this like deeper melodramatic tone, especially through where the vocals were and with kind of how the instrumentals even played off of it as well, in my mind, that's what really sunk it in for me, because when you take a look at the original, it did have more of this flow, kind of like this funkier feel to it, just because it was Prince. That's the way that
Yeah, it was
he
a
was
pop
writing.
song. It was a pop song, so that's what he was going for. But he it's I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of that song, it's pretty intense. So there was plenty of meat to chew on there, and really turn into a metal song. There wasn't anything campy uh, about it. When we were really digging in and writing it, we realized that it could be very um, dark and eerie and mysterious. And I think uh, first approach, and honestly, I would think anyone's first stab at it would be like, hey, let's just hit the gas, throw the tempo up, and try to see what it would sound like loud, because in some cases, like a Pink Floyd song, there's not much you want to do to that. Where songs like pop songs, they leave a little bit more uh, uh, space to move around, and you know you can choose to uh, reinvent things. I mean, I heard somebody cover uh, "Complicated" by Avril Lavigne on acoustic, and it gave me chills. I about you know welled up in tears, because I didn't even realize how deep you can make even the simplest lyrics sound. It really gave me a difference, and this was decades ago when I heard this version.
I have to go scour the internet and try and find that version now and have to
Yeah,
listen to it.
I bet you'll find it. It was iconic enough that I'm sure I remember hearing the gentleman speak right before he performed it, um, and he brought up that point that sometimes a good song is just a good song, um, and if you sing it right, it could be something amazing.
This is a good way to put it. And when it comes to what you guys do with the cover of When Doves Cry, because if you do take a look at the lyric content, like you said, there is so much there. There's a lot of depth there. There's a lot of heavy emotion there based on just what the song is about, based on a relationship that's going through a lot of different issues. And really being able to go into that, especially as a metal band that's used to, heavier instrumentation, sometimes a lot faster stuff than that, being able to pull that back and slow it down, be a lot more melodic with it, but also still keep the semblance of heaviness in there. You're giving this different heavy emotion through those instrumentals, just to that whole entire emotional base that the song has at its core. And then with your vocals again over it, kind of having a little bit of a deeper feel to it, while also kind of just going melodically, melodramatically over the whole entire thing. It creates that heaviness that the song has, and creates the heaviness that the core of the emotion has and that the meaning has, without, direct, like being so directly close to the original. It's a completely new feel to the whole entire song, but the emotion and the drive forward are still there, so that it connects so much closer to the original, and we feel the emotion of that in a completely different light.
Well, there was a lot of abstract in the lyrics, and that he was using as a metaphor, I would say, for the natural misunderstanding of an an unexplainable love. That if you have something that is just so unbridled and so unapologetically just love, you just can't describe it with plain old words. And I mean, look at the lyric, dream if you can, a courtyard, an ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses, they feel the heat between me and you. It's like that kind of poetic explanation of of his love for somebody, that he's describing to them their love for each other, and to be able to paint that picture of an entire courtyard, so like an English countryside castle with a huge beautiful garden courtyard, and it's nothing but violets blooming. That kind of awe-inspiring picture is not for basic love.
No, it is not. And this is why I love bringing up these songs, talking about means with you guys, with the artists, because there's so much that goes on here, and I'm just like enthralled with just how you describe that. And even on top of that too, you listen to lyrics, and if you just read them without hearing the music, yeah, you're gonna see this deep metaphorical thing, but you add the music that's behind it, and it adds so much more to a powerful emotional feel. It's a lot of the reasons why, say you're watching a movie, and all of a sudden there's like a super duper big action scene that's happening, and you hear that epic theatrical music behind it. It gets the adrenaline pumping. It gets you going. Or if there's a very sad moment or very dramatic moment, music always ends up amplifying the overall sensory feel that you get from it, and it amplifies the emotion that the scene is trying to portray, to where you could potentially start just really laughing, just feel happy, absolutely bawl your eyes out crying. That's the power that music has, and that instrumentals have, especially behind the verses that are the poetry, that are the lyrics.
Yeah, for sure. It's like cue the French horns. That's what you're waiting for. All of the horns and the flutes and all of that stuff to come in, the string section, and to bring in the dramatics for sure.
Oh, whenever the string section comes in, it's just like, that's just going to add so much more to that theatrical, dramatic telling of, honestly, anything.
Yeah, everything should be a Halo theme song.
Oh, dear God. If everything was a Halo theme song, I'm pretty sure that, you would never, no one in the history of the world would ever stop listening to music. Like, you'd walk out of the house, you'd have to have some sort of like earbuds, headphones, mini speaker running at all times playing, because, well, the Halo theme is freaking awesome.
Yeah, everyone would be driving around in like Mad Max style cars with huge bumpers and like, run flat tires and matte black paint, and it would be that kind of life for sure.
All while driving down, just hearing, oh,
yeah, exactly.
All right, I might have to start doing that when I pull up to places, but unfortunately, I don't have a Mad Max style car. I drive a 2006 Subaru Legacy, so I don't think it's going to be as epic.
Hey man, just break up a couple shopping carts and a welder. You'll make that bad boy look like an attack car for real.
All right, I meant to get some shopping carts. I'm taking them to my buddy's house, and we're just going to weld the hell out of that thing. And
reinforcement, that's all you need.
Might not necessarily be street legal, though, but you know what? That's the chance we're willing to take here.
No, just put some reflectors on it. That's all. You're good.
Oh my God, it's going to look like the bike I had when I was like 13 years old. It's just like, all right, you got all this cool stuff on there.
What you do is you put student driver. You put a student driver sign on the side of it. Nobody, you're good. Never pull you over. I have a sticker that I just stick on the side of my car sometimes, just in case. Drive home a little tipsy, student driver. Bang, right there. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm joking. That's a bad idea. Bad idea. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we'll just. But if all of a sudden, if someone all of a sudden sees a car that says student driver and has a bunch of shopping carts on it, just know that it's probably me driving.
You heard it here first.
And they know where I got the idea from. But if all of a sudden I get pulled over and I'm like, well, who gave you the idea? I'm like, well, he gave me the idea. However, I'm the one that, made it. So it's still on me. It ain't on him.
The views of Elias do not reflect the views of Nonpoint and Nonpoint band 361 Degrees Records. Right?
Yeah, there is the disclaimer literally right then and there.
There you go.
And then continuing with like When Doves Cry as well, because especially after that like first verse and the first chorus, then all of a sudden you bring in the rest of the band, you really bring in the full instrumentals once again. And they are heavy, but they still continue on with more of this melodic feel pace that continues on from, that intro verse, the intro chorus as well. So you still get that overall same driving emotion that you had from the beginning, but now it still feels a lot heavier, but also naturally heavier, like the song is progressing to that point.
Yeah, well, you got to take them on a bit of a roller coaster. You don't want to, we like to top thrill dragster people. Shoot them out at about 600 miles an hour, shoot them up 90 degrees at about 300, spin them 290 degrees, throw them back down at about another 100 miles an hour, and then spit them out the back end. That stuffs.
Oh yeah. And even like with one other thing I really liked about like how you end up continuing on with that was especially the lead guitar, because especially it kind of also paid homage to the original, because if you kept going heavy, yeah, it would have made sense. But with that lead guitar, the higher pitched notes that they were playing in the forefront, especially on the mix, really helped out that melodic backing sound even heavier. However, it also kind of paid homage to the original, where you're still sort of feeling like, it's kind of has a little bit more of that potential like emotion of that pop feel to it, but is definitely nowhere near that pop sense. It is still
You talking about the
something.
tension in the bridge or in the chorus?
Chorus.
The chorus, yeah, that was the lead. What we were trying to do is there's an underlying hook that you really have to listen for, that you don't realize is the hook in the original, and it goes bano nano 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 no no nano 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 nano, that has that is so tucked that you don't even realize that that's the rhythm behind the how can you just leave me standing. That's, if you listen to the original, you can hear it buried back there. So we pulled that out and attached that to the lead in the so that's that high pitched note that you're hearing.
I never would have guessed that was the case in a million years. If you'd give me a million guesses, I would have failed on every single one of them.
Yeah, that's where that one got pulled from. It was just a little layer that he put there in the mix somewhere, and I don't know if it was a guitar lead or something that he had buried in the back, but I started noticing that's what everybody was bouncing off in that original, and that's how that vocal worked so well with that rhythm.
That is some serious reverse engineering of a song, my friend. But my God, does it just because when you listen to that chorus, it feels so natural compared to the original as well. Like the overall flow is the same, but it sounds completely different. You're not necessarily sure why. And now I kind of have a feeling why, because you pulled that piece out from the back of the original and put it in the front. So now it's more prominent to the, casual listeners, not, going to full on reverse engineer it. It does sound different, but it has the same feel. But all of a sudden you go that deep into it. Now it's like, okay, this is completely working hand in hand with it to be one hell of a cover song, while still, again, standing out on its own in terms of quality.
Well, thanks, man. I think that was the pop element that we were deciding to leave in there.
And again, smart decision to leave it in there, because one thing I always find about certain cover songs is like whenever I see them not really work out is they always tend to feel forced. However, when it came to you guys doing When Doves Cry, it did not feel forced in any step. That everything felt, it flowed naturally. Everything felt properly done. It just felt like it was a different song that hit on the same motion. All of a sudden, you connect the two together, and I gotta say, and this it might sound like I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but trust me, I'm not. So far for this decade of the 2020s, this is the best cover song I've heard. We're 2 years into it, and we'll see if anyone has a chance to even beat this thing.
Thank you. We I'm glad we went back to the drawing board as many times as we did, because if it sounds natural, then that's the goal.
And when it does, it's something where, people are going to start, all of a sudden, I'm going to end up taking a look at your Spotify accounts in like 2 to 3 years. And all of a sudden, I'm going to see like 2 of your guys' original songs as number 1, number 2, and all of a sudden, number 3, the cover When Doves Cry is going to end up being there, because.
Well, it is right now. It is. It actually is right now. So it's Bullet, Chaos, Breaking Skin, In the Air Tonight, and Doves. So they're all up there. People like our covers.
I knew Bullet was going to be number 1, though, because that was the song my buddy showed me. He's like, dude, you got to check out this band Nonpoint we played. And I'm just like, again, this was like 2012. I'm like, can we play this on Guitar Hero? Because, well, what game was that one on? I'm not sure if it ever made it on one of those games, but we were trying to find it as best as possible.
I think it did. I think it made it on Oh, I think it was on I don't want to misquote. I do not want to misquote. Rock Band. It was Rock Band. It was Rock Band.
Ah,
Yes, it was Rock Band. And
unfortunately, my friends, we were all Guitar Hero kids, so Rock Band we did
yeah,
not
but
have that version of
I
it.
believe that I believe Alive and Kicking and another song, I believe Miracle is on GarageBand right now. So you still play Nonpoint for sure.
Well, shoot. I mean, well, even though we're shooting this right around Christmas, I don't think I can tell people that are gonna be buying me Christmas gifts, put on my Christmas list. Find me the copy of Rock Band that has "Bullet" by Nonpoint on it.
Yeah, for sure. And if not, you can get a WWE SmackDown, and that's got Bullet and Alive and Kicking on it, and you can fight, come out to our music. So that's pretty good.
Do you know which WWE game it was? Was it like 2006, 2007,
I think
maybe?
it was six. I think it was 2006.
All right, now I just have to go. I just have to fight
Yeah.
one person for it because my brother has it in his apartment right now. So
There you
Scott,
go.
I'm coming for you, and I'm getting that game back for the
Yeah,
sole
yeah,
purpose.
yeah. You could. A lot of people were coming out to our stuff, and we have another song on there called "Everybody Down." That's pretty. That we wrote specifically for them. So, yeah, we're actually playing that on tour right now.
No, really?
Yeah, we brought that song back because people were asking for it so much. Um, I didn't want to do it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to do it. Not in a bad way. It's just I didn't think anybody would. I didn't think anybody wanted to hear that song because it was a song on a video. It wasn't on any of our records, so I didn't think so. But we get so many requests. We put the question online and asked everybody. We're like, hey, what do you think we should add to the set? And that one was like number 3 in the list of most voted. So we added it back in.
Well, shoot! All of a sudden, you guys are gonna start putting more songs in video games, and people are gonna start requesting those left and right. I mean, it's
Yeah,
working the best.
I'm hoping we get them to reach out to us in the coming months with Ruthless and with our next single, Back in the Game, which I feel like is going to be a serious. I think that song is going to be the one that gets put on the most video games and the most. It sees the most light of day on like wrestling stuff. I really feel like it.
Well, I gotta ask why you think that, especially because I know with Ruthless, the single, you guys really, I think, did you guys premiere that one with AEW?
Yeah, we actually did. We that one dropped with during Blood and Guts with AEW, and it was slated for another event. They heard the song and immediately they were like, "Nah, this is gonna go over here." So, which is great because it was a live event, so more people got to see it than they would have on the pay-per-view. So, very exciting, very exciting.
That's a cool way to put it. Because I've seen other bands, like especially when it comes to different wrestling promotions, where all of a sudden, they have a song that comes out on, let's say, might be the song for a pay per view, might be a song that's played live somewhere, might be a song that, okay, they're just gonna add it to, like, this one wrestler's gonna walk out to it. I mean, hell, look at Alter Bridge, especially from the wrestling community. When they first, dropped their first album, all of a sudden Metalingus became Edge's walk-up song, and all of a sudden that was like the best walk-up song that of the 2000s because so many people knew. It's like, okay, we got to find out this band. Turns out the band's Alter Bridge, and it's got Miles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti. So yeah,
Yeah,
people really got into it.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. You got those two guys involved for sure.
No, absolutely. So why do you think this other song, was it Back in the Game, correct?
Back in the Game, the lyrics and the riff is just it's really hard. The chorus says, "And you're looking at a one-man death squad." So it's pretty. It gets yeah. It says, "I may be one man, but I'm a death squad." So it gets pretty. It gets pretty intense. We didn't pull any punches with the lyrics in this EP.
Well, I mean, from what I heard when you guys played Ruthless, I went through that whole entire song as well. Like, you guys didn't pull any punches with that, especially with the call and response, especially in the first half of the chorus, with you seeing all of a sudden the rest of the band just screaming Ruthless right back at it. I mean, there's no punches pulled. It sounds like every time they're saying Ruthless, you're getting hit in the face with something, whether it be a punch, whether it be a kick, whether it be a steel chair, whether Triple
Yeah,
H came and hit you with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, that one definitely gets the crowd reaction and the love back and forth. Especially live, that one gets, people are singing the hell out of that
And I'm pretty sure there's probably a good old mosh pit going on where people are going absolutely crazy.
one.
So,
Whole time.
well, when I get to see you play live, I'll guarantee you one thing. That's where I'm going to be.
I'll see you there for sure.
You'll probably see it's like, okay, who's this crazy guy in the middle just going absolutely crazy or Ruthless? And why is his hat flying off? And why is he on the ground? Oh, wait, it's Kevin. He's fine. He'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We gear our music. We think about our fans and we think about the live show when we put songs like that together. So, we're there's going to be more of them coming real soon. And on Heartless, there's some pretty heavy songs coming. So I hope people are ready.
And you're killing me here, man, because I just want to hear some of these songs now, and I want to go out and be able to see you guys live now, so I can, again, I love going to concerts, especially the ones that are high energy. If I get hurt during them, so be it. I still enjoy doing all that crazy stuff anyway. So
Yeah,
if I'm hearing this stuff, like I want to be in there.
the set in January is for sure probably the loudest, most intense set that we've put together in years. We added two just to make it even heavier because we want people walking away from these shows going, that was the heaviest Nonpoint I've ever seen.
Okay, then I gotta go take a look at this this tour, this like lineup again of when you guys are gonna be out there, because I gotta figure out wherever the closest is you guys are gonna be to me and how the hell I'm gonna get there.
Well, we're contemplating posting the set list, and we feel like that's really going to drive people to to the shows. But you keep an eye on our socials, and you can make your decision then.
Oh, I'll keep an eye on the socials, and I'll put this, if for some reason I can't make it out to this like run that you guys are doing in January, I've got a feeling that you guys are going to continue to do runs in 2022 at some point, and hopefully you guys will come around somewhere in my neck of the woods that's at least like, maybe like 2 hours away from me or closer, because I can make it. So as long as I get to see you guys potentially play here in my hometown in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or in Madison, Green Bay, or of course even down in Chicago as well, like I'm making it happen.
Oh, we're definitely going to be in the Midwest soon, so you'll definitely be able to get a chance to catch us there without a doubt.
And I'm gonna make sure I tell my friend, be like, "Hey, dude, remember when you showed me Nonpoint? Okay, you're traveling from Minnesota. You're coming to meet me here. You're coming here." If my buddy Chris is like, "Well, I don't want to. I'm not sure if I want to do that," I'll just tell him, I'll freaking buy your ticket, man. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, the Midwest shows are always amazing for us. So you definitely want to catch us in the Midwest, or South Florida or Texas. Texas is really good for us. Flint, Michigan, Hartford, Connecticut is amazing. There's a few pockets that you can really catch us in. Midwest is definitely one of the good ones. So you're in luck.
Well, I'm not gonna miss out on that. And then even with some of these other songs, well, one of the, like we just were talking about earlier, you guys had a lot of success in the video game circuit back, in the mid 2000s. If all of a sudden, especially with back in the game, you're able to get back on the video game circuit with how heavy it ends up going, along with some of the other stuff, like, what happens if you guys are able to work with AEW again to get something like that going, with how AEW is continuing to grow as the main competition for WWE, or what if it even gets picked up by WWE, which right now is the biggest, still is the biggest wrestling promotion out there. And there's a lot of fans, a lot of eyes on there, and a lot of those fans might even know your music, but even the ones that don't really still like the style of music that you guys work within. So again, when it comes to like that video game style, especially within the wrestling scene, you guys really connecting with that. That is one hell of a smart move to continue to make.
Yeah, well, we have a big group of our fans are wrestling fans because of our history with WWE back in during the Raw days when we were on that video game. But the AEW camp is amazing group of people, and just pros, sweet people to work with, kind and fun people to work with. So I hope to get that phone call again and work with them again. If WWE comes knocking, gladly answer that phone and answer that door as well. But our wrestling community is definitely one of the big champions for Nonpoint. So
what we might need from the wrestling community and all the non-point fans is especially when these songs start to drop, is start just like tagging AEW and sending them the song. Same thing with WWE. Literally make sure they see this song, make sure they hear this song, and make sure they know that you want to see this song played at either promotion or even both. I mean, why not both? Because all that's going to do is give those promotions one hell of a kick-ass song to help promote their product with. Two, it's going to end up fitting in, like you guys know, they already know Nonpoint, so this is going to work. And three, I mean, who doesn't want a kick-ass song to end up, getting, a lot more acclaim, a lot more attention, to the point where everyone has it on their workout playlist. Everybody's like, oh, we need to have like a song like to make me feel powerful, potentially after like a breakup, something. Boom, here you go. Like, this song can cover so many bases for people that just want to just go, ah!
Yeah. That one, Back in the Game, is for sure. It's one of those songs that we wanted to help people do their long sprints, their workouts, leveling up in the gym. We're definitely the type of music to grow muscles faster.
That is very true, sir. No wonder why Bullet is on one of my couple of workout playlists. So had to put it on there. It made total sense to put it on there. So I'm gonna end up adding. I've added Ruthless to one of them. I'm probably gonna end up adding Back to the Game one of them as well.
Yeah, if you want more biceps, you got to play more Ruthless, without a doubt.
Just end up playing on the squat rack. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, trying to hit 355 a day. Let's do this. Yeah. Ah! It's like, okay, maybe not be able to do it, but all of a sudden put on some Nonpoint, and all of a sudden, 10 reps is going to be no problem.
Yes, we're like your spotter.
Spotter, trainer, motivator, whatever it is, Nonpoint has you covered.
Yes, indeed.
Oh man, that is probably one best way to kind of describe, especially some of the newer music. It's like, yeah, it's like an infomercial. You want to get jacked. You want to get ripped. You want to have all the motivation in gym to potentially punch through a wall. You want to feel as strong as one of the Avengers. Well, when you're working out, listen to Nonpoint with songs like Bullet, with songs like Ruthless, with songs like Back in the Game.
Time Life music, for real.
Pretty much. I mean, and especially with the fact that I'll see you guys. I remember I saw that you guys created your own independent record label called 361 Degrees. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. I did get that right. Woo. So with you guys having your own independent record label as well, it allows you guys to really play with a lot of these different ideas in terms of marketing, how to get your songs out there, what kind of promotions to work with, and what kind of people to work with to help promote your songs. It gives you a lot more autonomy to work with. And, if you want to potentially try something out, can do it a lot easier.
Yeah. That's the goal, to make the machine easier to move when you want to accomplish stuff, for sure.
And especially with the way that, especially from the pandemic, we've seen a lot more bands go more the independent route as well, like you guys have. And I've seen a lot of it happen for the positive because, again, with the internet, a lot of that distribution, there's a lot of tools there that a lot of times, when it comes to like, if you guys when you guys are making music like 20 years ago, the whole landscape has completely changed.
Yes.
And you guys have a lot more power as artists now, especially through the internet. So being able to harness that, use that, and do a lot of this stuff on your own, you guys are able to make those decisions a lot quicker. You guys are able to take more risks that you want to take without having so many hands in the pot.
Yeah, it definitely has its risk, but it's risk versus reward. You want to weigh your options, and you want to be educated, and you want to make smart choices and as many low risk choices as you can. But sometimes you want to make that high risk choice, and that's that's the position that we're in right now, that when we want to spend more or we want to, see if the fans are going to like a particular song, we just kind of go for it and hope for the best.
And another way you can go about it too is, again, all of a sudden, there's something that's really popular going on that you just want to be able to take advantage of. You can make that decision right then and there. You could potentially capitalize on a trend right from the beginning and maybe not, potentially wait a week or two, and all of a sudden you finally hit that trend, maybe some with a promotional tactic, and all of a sudden that's kind of died out. You can hit that right away and potentially, you have a lot more chance to potentially hit that lightning in a bottle. However, like you said, there are a lot other risks associated with it. So no matter who you are as an artist, band, or anybody in life doing anything, there's always going to be those risk rewards between decisions that you have to weigh out, and you have just to pick the one that's going to be best for you.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. It's us picking what's best for us. And when you're on other teams, people think about themselves too. So we for once just wanted things to be about us.
And with the fact that you guys have been doing this for 20 plus years as a band, again, you've seen a lot of different things. You've gone through a lot of things. You've gone through so many different changes as well in terms of basically just the world around you, how music is produced, how music is distributed, how music is listened to from the fans, how performances are done, a lot of that stuff. You guys have seen the change happen over the past 20, 25 years. So when it comes to being able to understand some of the ins and outs of the industry, being able to really take this on independently, there's a lot of other knowledge that you guys have now that some of these other bands that are going independent might not have. So it does put you guys in an incredible position to really capitalize on being independent, going your own way, and being able to take some of those risks to potentially gain some of those rewards.
Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say I didn't take some of the lessons that I learned playing the major label game into the independent, label model. There's things that worked wonderfully over there. So we use those same kind of strategies and tactics and, dividing the budgets and where we allocate funds and those kind of things. I think where I've said this a few times in interviews, and I hope this is being translated properly, that there's a part of the artist label model that will never fix, and it has to do with the way music and artists are currently, and delivery and value of artist and song. Label deals are around a song. They're not really around an artist. They're around a song or an album. They're not around an artist. They sign an artist, but they really signed a song. So what happens is, and this is my personal perspective, is when you think about what's best for the song, sometimes it's not what's best for the artist. And sometimes what's best for the artist isn't what's best for the song. And when you're put into a position of business, now you're having to answer to a higher level of thinking, budgets, money, quarterlies, taxes, shareholders, staff, all of these things that you have to consider when you're making a decision for an artist. This artist doesn't consider any of those things, but all of those things are what drive the decisions for my song. So how am I supposed to grow the power and strength of the music if your focus isn't on growing the strength of your artist? That's not what, in conversations that personally I've had with those, big rooms, that's the point that I see always get missed, is that, well, we can't really spend on there because that helps you. It really doesn't help the album. Well, if we help this, it's going to help the album. The greater this is, the more people love anything. It's like, I mean, look at Drake. Look at The Weeknd. Look at Billie Eilish. Big names. They could shit on a tape and put it out, and people will listen to it.
That's true.
That is it. They have established their value. And it's because systems put money into that, It wasn't just the music. It was everything. That's why when you see artists like The Weeknd, you see artists like Billie Eilish, you see the art and the artist. You don't just hear a snappy song. It's the snappy song that got your attention, but it was the artist that sold you on everything. That's the difference. So if your focus then is here, this fixes itself. And that's what people don't miss, is that if you signed me for something that you heard over here, then focus on what I have to say over here, and we're going to win together. If not, then it's going to be something that I'm not so sure of and you're not so sure of. And then that middle of the ground, watered down idea that gets presented to fan bases gets sniffed out as ungenuine in a heartbeat. And that's the difference, is that that's the break in the system, is understanding that that's the risk, is that you're investing in a person, in a human being, in something that is literally reaching up into the ether, pulling down something that is nothing and going, look, this is amazing because I say so. And so people go, wow, I got to give this a chance. Look at the conviction, look at the passion, look at the heart behind it. That doesn't happen just from a song. That happens from a body, a place, not just from a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't happen from like a thing, the end product of it all, where the artist created the song. The song is the product that comes out of the artist's passion, of their creativity, of their emotion, of their experiences, of what they want to say on there and how they want it to be said, how they want it to be heard. That's the end product. But again,
Right.
like you said, they're the ones that created it. They're the ones that are the generators of all of that.
But how it should be presented and how it should be seen and how it should be heard and our first step forward, all of these things get considered outside of deep consideration. I've already considered it. My other bandmates have already considered it. The artists that I work with to do my videos, to do my art, my album covers, to then turn and present that and have it second guessed shouldn't be part of the process. That's where the break in trust happens, where, hey, the Scrub Daddy dude made that sponge and he didn't give a shit how many sponges were out on the market. He knew his was going to be the best. And somebody got behind him and made that sponge the best one on the market. There's other markets that other sponges exactly like that sponge that have been around for decades. He made his a smiley face, able to clean utensils, and all of a sudden, boom, it was the next new thing. Artists are always making the new thing. And if you don't hear that thing in that and trust their direction, then you're buying into something that your opinion is just wrapped around, not the entire scope of that plan is driven by. Because that song that I wrote might not even be my favorite song or the song that I feel like represents me the best. But in today's market, it might have the best chance at radio, or that it sounds like this particular freaking, Slipknot song that now, hey, that's kind of Slipknot-y and Slipknot's popular right now, so maybe we should put that song out right now. It's that shouldn't be the way decisions are made. And sometimes that's the things that were presented, and being presented those things by a professional, makes you second guess yourself and makes you second guess your art. And that's when things start to just be about this and not about what it started as.
I'm not gonna lie, Elias. I did not want to really speak during any of that because I was just captivated by what you were saying and really trying to take every bit of it in, because there's a lot there that you just spoke about in terms of the relationship between like the label artist relationship and where it goes askew, where it goes awry, and really seeing how it can be broken up between, you know, like you're talking about with Billie Eilish, Drake, The Weeknd, why it's there, the focus is on the artist, and why for so many other artists out there when it comes to these different deals, the focus is on the end product. It focuses on the song, and it's like what's gonna be the best for the album, what's gonna be best for the song in terms of marketability, radio play, what's gonna be the thing that's gonna make the most money.
Or it's and in today's world, unfortunately, it's not that. It's the opposite. It's how little can we spend? How little can we promote and it still be successful? How little can we possibly do to gain major success? And we did so little for this band over here, and they were huge. So we should theoretically be able to do that same with this person and get the same, product at the end. That's not the case. Genres, niches, demographics, everything works different. And it's that, running it through the same system that creates that touch and go relationship between artist and label. Going back to that point about Billie Eilish and all those guys are on major labels. It's not like that. It works in some cases, but every artist on The Weeknd's label and on Billie Eilish's label don't get that attention. If they did, they possibly could be that big. We'll never know. We'll never know because there's not that much staff, attention, time, money. So I don't blame the labels, but I have to decide as an artist, am I going to keep asking the same question, get the same answer, get the same final product and expect it to change? Or am I going to see for once, if I try it myself, can I achieve just as much and not feel so judged after already judging myself for months as I build out an album? I don't write anything that I can't wear on my sleeve, and any kind of criticism to an artist in that sense should be understood and should be delicate, because if not, it creates a mental strain and an emotional strain on artists that make us feel like workhorses. And I don't like to be rode hard and put up wet.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to end up referencing this podcast many times in the future because of this last little segment of what you just said based on, everything. It's captivating just to hear, again, the difference between how labels are looking at things and how it's when it comes to, again, the artist, the song, what the focus is. One thing I'm kind of, shocked at is not the fact that it's, what's going to be more popular. It's what, like we said with labels, what can we spend the least amount of money on for the most amount of success? They want they want their bottom line to look the best. And from their standpoint, I do understand where they're coming from in that aspect.
They have to answer to shareholders. And that's what I said. Yeah. I don't blame labels, but they can't blame me for holding my opinion in this way. It's that at a certain point, I have to decide if the value you're putting on me is what I value myself at. And a lot of times it isn't. So I can make that choice as an artist of whether or not I want to, if I want to spend the money, fuck it, I'll spend the money. Let me spend the money. Let me put it on me. And guess what, major labels, I learned my lesson. You were right. I'm saying it right now. They're fucking right. It is expensive. It is extremely expensive. It is a lot of work. But right now, I probably wouldn't change it, because the success that we're receiving with the amount of and the lack of anxiety and the amount of freedom artistically that we have right now is not something that I'm used to, you know. So I want to sit in it at least for a little bit and enjoy it.
No, oh, absolutely. Sit in it, enjoy it, because when it comes down, I mean, you're the one that making all the decisions. And when it comes to the focus being on the artist and the focus on how you guys are making the music, how you guys are promoting, everything about it is being thought of with the artist in mind and growing the overall artist, growing the band, and just being able to focus in on that and not have to, answer to all those other people, have a label that has to answer to, all the different shareholders that are in there, different people that are running different things, the different, certain bylaws or semantics that they have. It's you guys are running it the way that you want to run it. And there are the risks in there, like you said, the cost. Yes, it is expensive to want to be able to try and do something like this, but the reward is you guys are potentially able to work any way that you want to work, promote it however you want to promote it, and make the best decision for you that you think is the best decision for you, with the overall artist and the band in mind, and not really having to deal with, oh, we have to put it out this way, we have to make this amount of money on it because we have shareholders that expect this. No, you guys are the ones that are in control. You're the guys are the ones that, when it comes to meeting expectations, the only people whose expectation you have to meet is you guys.
Yeah, and just make sure that we pay the invoices. That's really the goal right now, is to keep the machine going, and we're doing it just fine. We're not. I wouldn't trade the workload for the product that we're getting. We're getting music that we've always wanted to write. We're releasing artwork and merch lines and doing advertising we always wanted to do. It's things are where we wanted them to be, as close as we wanted them to be.
And you can see it come out in like when it comes to the overall end product, and that overall end product is going to be the music. It's going to be the song. It's going to be the EP. It's going to be the album. And again, just using the When Doves Cry cover specifically, seeing how you said you went through many different iterations of many versions, like 5 or 6 different versions. You worked on so many different things with this. And yeah, you guys were able to do something like that because you guys were accountable to yourselves only. So you're going to put it out the way that you guys wanted to put it out.
We may not, honestly, we may not have had time to do that many versions if we were still in our former position. So it's one of those things that you can't just put on a schedule or just say, I'm going to spend this amount of money and I'm going to get this result. Music is as human as the people that make it. So you have to respect the delivery process in that same way.
And by respecting that delivery process, again, I'm just going to have to use that as an example. You see how it turned out. You see when it was put out there, how people received it through the marketing and just people listening to it, and the positivity that you saw for it based on the quality of the end product, based on the fact that the focus was put on the artists and the band, for you guys artists and as a band as a whole, to create something that you guys wanted to create, make it sound the way you guys wanted to sound. And again, it speaks to the quality of the song. It speaks to the quality of the cover. And you take a listen to the Ruthless song as well, again, the single off the EP. It speaks to the quality of that as well, where AEW decided, we're not going to have it here on this one. No, we're moving it here because this is a much better spot for it because it's such a good song. And the way that you guys are going about it, you could potentially see that continue to happen, where all of a sudden people pick up your song. It's like, okay, we're seeing the quality behind them. We're seeing the energy behind them. We're feeling it. We're feeling the passion coming from the artist into the song. We're feeling that, the focus on the artist, and the end product being the song is just how that focus and how that overall quality is being portrayed here. We could just see this massive growth of Nonpoint that we haven't seen, in a long time, maybe even ever. We could see this insane growth based off of something like this. It's very possible with the quality and with the fact that you guys are able to potentially push these songs out, market them, send them out any way that you see fit for that specific song, for that EP, for that album.
I think we needed to show the industry that exactly that. And I feel like now people understand that, you know, we understand our place in music and our place in rock, and you know, we know how to market ourselves, and we just wanted to you know, basically prove it to the world.
And with Ruthless, the song with the When Doves Cry cover, so When Doves Cry, that'd be kind of weird. When Doves Cry cover, and now when the EP is going to come out, when you guys are working on the new people, working on the new funk album, when you guys are going to be playing these live shows, the heaviest sets that Nonpoint has ever played, there's going to be something there. There's going to be this feeling of just overall life, this energy that's going to be around there. This adrenaline rush that's going to be around there that I feel like is just going to end up drawing more people than Nonpoint fans, other artists. It's going to end up, people that you're using music for things, again, like WWE, AEW. It's just going to draw the attention to you guys, and people are going to want to potentially work with you guys and use your music to help out whatever their product is. What, again, WWE, AEW is a perfect example of it. They could put even more of your guys' songs as promos for shows, as promos for pay-per-views, as potential, like, oh, we're going to have a wrestler wants to use this as their walk-up song. Okay, that wrestler gets big, and then all of a sudden it's like an Edge Alter Bridge kind of thing. There's a lot of potential here for something like that, and a lot of that drives from the quality of music you guys are putting out, because with the focus being on you guys, the artists, and the band as a whole.
Thank you, man. Thank you. We really feel like we're set up for the new year, and you know, my team is sharp. I'm excited to get going.
Oh, you guys are definitely set up for the new year. And well, when 2022 rolls around, for everyone listening, what I want you to do is I want you to, make sure that when Nonpoint, if you're able to see them, mark it down on your calendars, circle that date, say, I'm not putting anything else on this date because Nonpoint is playing live and I'm going to see them, and I'm just going to have a kick-ass time. That's what I want everyone to do.
We're out January 6th to the 30th. So any of those dates, man, you'll find it. Go to nonpoint.com and get your tickets now.
Well, we'll make sure that happens. But Elias, as we close out this podcast, one thing I'd like to do to close these out is give you a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug whatever you want to plug, promote whatever you want to promote at the end of the podcast. So, buddy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, December 27th, the Ruthless EP goes live everywhere, along with Back in the Game, and the new video for Back in the Game also goes live on YouTube. There's a pre-save link on our Instagram and on our Facebook, so just go to any one of our socials and you can save the pre-save link now to save to your favorite music library. And be ready for us January all the way up until February. We'll be doing our headlining run and then doing Shiprocked, and then we're going to hit the studio and get that next EP ready to come out.
That's
one song's already done, and it's unbelievable. So we're definitely setting the bar high.
Dude, you got me excited as all hell right now. So I'm going to close this episode by saying three things. First things first is, when it comes to the Ruthless EP, when it comes to finding Nonpoint line, when it comes to getting out and seeing them play live, there's many things you can do. You can follow them on social media. You can go, pre-save whatever they have coming up, whether it's the Roots EP, whether it's the next EP, whatever it might be. Listen to it, stream it, buy it, download it, all that good stuff. Watch YouTube videos. There's so much you can do to connect with Nonpoint that you're going to want to be able to do all of it. But I also understand that everyone likes convenience. Why search it up all yourselves when someone like myself can search up all these links, put them in the description of the podcast, and have you have a one-click, one-stop shop for everything. So you better believe I'm going to do that. I'll let you take a look at the description of the podcast, say find Nonpoint online. Everything will be there. So don't miss out on Nonpoint on social media. Check out their videos. Be able to listen to music, pre-save it to all your stuff. If it's, be in the pre-save mode, if it's out there, listen to it, add to all your stuff, and go check them out live when you get the chance. Now, Elias, here's number 2. And this is a promise I always tend to make to a lot of people on the podcast that I enjoy having, because I enjoy doing this. Like my favorite thing I do in the world. And every artist I've had on here, I've enjoyed. And I've made this promise. You, sir, You absolutely hit on that. And like the last like 20 minutes of podcast, we were talking about just the stuff that basically had me like, I do not want to like say a word because it's just, I am sunk into this. Like I am profoundly into this. It is probably the most like sunk into a podcast I've been on since I've had Sahaj from Ra on, because that guy goes absolutely nuts with some of these things. And you just went as deep. I was just like, I can't stop listening to this. So my promise is not an if, because if implies possibility of not happening. I'm going to say when, because when implies, yeah, this is going to happen. Date is still to be determined, but it's going to happen. So when I get to see Nonpoint perform live for the first time, because I haven't seen you guys perform live yet, but I'm definitely making sure it happens. My promise to you is this, sir, and it is first round's on me. Deal. So on that note, I cannot end this podcast in all good conscience by saying goodbye, because I have to make good on that promise. After hearing this, what we're done talking about, especially with the labels, artists, all that kind of stuff, why you went independent, all that good stuff, I was so captivated. I would love to do this again in the future and talk all about stuff, talk about more new music with you. So I cannot in good conscience end this with a goodbye. That is not the way to end this.
I'll see you soon.
Yep. See you later, bud.
For sure. We'll see you soon, baby.
Well, folks, that was my interview with Elias and the band Nonpoint. Once again, Nonpoint is right now playing the heaviest set they have ever played on this headline run in January of 2022. You're going to want to go see them in concert. You're going to want to listen to the Ruthless EP. You're going to want to be able to pre-save the next EP they're coming out with and the full-length album they're going to end up coming out with that they're going to end up working on, in 2022. You're going to want to follow along with them on social media. You're going to want to help get them on places like, more songs on WWE video games or video games in general, or songs in like AEW stuff, all that good kind of stuff. So you're going to want to follow them on social media, watch them on YouTube, listen to their stuff, download it, stream it, save it, buy it, whatever it might be. Check out, buy some merch, buy concert tickets. All the links to that stuff for Nonpoint are in the description of the podcast. Remember to follow the Chord Progression Podcast as well, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Remember to subscribe to the Chord Progression Podcast on YouTube, because you get to watch the podcast interviews with those bands and you can see your favorite artists and me, shoot the shit, have a good time. If you don't want to watch my YouTube, but you'd like to stream them listening-wise, audio-wise, we have that available for you on Spotify, Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Amazon. So link description below. Thank you to the sponsors, Custom Debuts and Phoenix Fitness, their discount codes, and the links in the description of the podcast as well. And on that note, that's going to be it for me again. Thank you very much for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. Shout out to Shauna O'Donnell, though, because she is one of the best PR people in the business, has gotten me connected with many different bands. She was the one that got me connected with, Sahaj from Ra, with Elias from Nonpoint, and of course, probably my favorite one she's got me connected with, Joey from Outlier. So, my name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one of the big, healthy, and hearty. See ya!